Good afternoon, you beautiful people. It's Jacob on the one up top, and I'm doing my before, middle, and after for the game where Wolves entertain Tottenham. As I said earlier in my earlier videos, it's a shame that I couldn't go and watch this because literally, if I sit in my back garden and Wolves score, I can hear the crowd. That's how close it is. But I could only get 2 tickets, and I weren't going to leave one of the kids here while I go and watch the game. So, fortunately, I'm going to have to catch it on the stream. As I always say, like, share, subscribe, comment, do all of that. I'll get back to you sooner rather than later, if not immediately. So, first of all, I'm going to, preview this game. So I've just looked at the lineups. Quite a few shocks, if I'm honest. There's a few people that have come into the team that I wasn't expecting to, and that's probably from my opinion. I don't know what goes on in training. I don't know what Conte's thinking at the minute. Picking his olives in Sicily, but let's go to the Wolves lineup first. So I'm looking at it now. You've got Sarr in goal. They've gone with the back four of Kilman, Dawson, Semedo right back, and Johnny left back. Neves and Lamina in midfield. Neto on the left. Sarabia on the right. Mateus in the number 10, and Diego Costa up front. Now, when I looked at this, first of all, I saw Diego Costa and I thought to myself, has he scored? Has he ever scored for Wolves? And I thought, no. So that, if I was a betting man, that's who's scoring the first goal. He's got history with Tottenham. He was there at the Battle of the Bridge. He was there when, Chelsea were at the last time they were dominant in the Premier League. Funnily enough, with the manager that we've got at the helm right now. He's probably not got the most confidence, but he'll be loving the fact that he's playing Tottenham. There'll be players. I think there's only maybe 3 players in the starting lineup that we've got that would have been there at the Battle of the Bridge to remember his ugly face. But Wolves, like I say, they're in the Premier League right now. They're a steady Eddie. You don't know what's going to come with them. The last time they were out, they lost to Liverpool. Strangely, they lost 1-0 at home to Bournemouth, which, anybody putting a bet down there would have never thought Wolves were going to lose that. But, this is the Premier League, and on that basis, it might not be the best league, but it's the most entertaining because anything like that can happen. We can't underestimate Wolves like we did against Sheffield United because, like I say, one, they're our bogey team, and one, they're a better side than Sheffield United. Let's have it right. So, solid enough lineup. It's a lineup that will be solid. They'll look for Pedro Neto's pace to get him behind. So, it'll be an interesting battle between him and the right back that we've got at the moment. So, I'll go to our lineup. Front three is normal. Kulusevski, Son and Kane. If I'm going to comment on that. Not surprising. I would have liked to see Richarlison get another nod, but in hindsight, when you deep it, he did have a stinker at Sheffield United. So, to give him... Maybe he needs to waken up. I don't know. That left-hand side of our attack, they both need waking up. So whether it's Son or Richarlison, Richarlison probably puts in more work, but Son is just a better player. He's just really bad out of form. Midfield 2, Skip, Højbjerg. Could have told you that last week, this week, midweek. It's going to be these 2. Fullbacks is where I'm a bit pissed off. Like, Pedro Porro didn't really do well against Sheffield United. He was okay, and like I said, you don't chuck a guy like him into a game at Bramall Lane because he's just going to not be used to long throws and the directness of their football. But, if we're paying all that money for him towards the end of the season, maybe we do need to play him a bit more often. Perisic, if I'm honest, I don't really like him at left wing back. Tottenham fans always have their eyes covered blindly by the fact that he's got loads of assists. But if you do your research, most of his assists are from corners and free kicks. So is he providing that width that we need? No, I don't really remember him crossing too many balls in from left wing back and setting up goals. He's always been a good player. He's a steady player, but he's a one-trick pony. He gets to the byline, does a step over that no one really falls for, and just gets it in the box. I suppose that's what you ask for, but at the same time, I think Ben Davies was doing a pretty good job there. Dyer's been dropped. Longley comes centrally, and again, I don't really like Longley central. I don't know. It's just a preference of one. I haven't really got any stats or facts to back it up. I just think, even though Eric Dyer isn't great, he's better off just being there. You know, I'm glad to see Romero back. And Davis, to be fair, he's another one of our steady Eddie players. Like, whether you play him left wing back or left central, it's not the worst case scenario. But, you know, the back three that we had against Chelsea, I think it's the ones that suit. Eric Dyer wasn't great against Sheffield United, and to be honest, he hasn't been great all season. So maybe it's another player that needs waking up. We've got Fraser Forster in goal, which is inevitable. Yeah, you know, when you look at it, if we've got a lot of the ball and we say that we are going to take on Wolves and establish the fact that we're trying to get Champions League football, let's say, we just got to take it to Wolves, because they haven't got a Adama Traore in the starting lineup. I'm not sure if he's on the bench or anything. Let me have a look. Yeah, he's in the lineup. You know, that sort of pace frightens you. He's not the greatest with end product, but the pace alone scares any team. So, you know, I was probably still to stick with my prediction. I think that Wolves will sit in, they'll sit tight, and probably get a victory that will warrant another plummet. You know, I'm looking at the Man City score right now, and I think, you know, last time I checked, they're winning 2-0 against Newcastle. So again, this is the sort of game where if we go and win it, we kind of say, right, Champions League football is looking great. You know, if Newcastle lose this, they're still a threat, but I think it's Liverpool that we need to kind of worry about now. You know, Jurgen Klopp's side have proved a lot of the time that when they do need to go on a run, they can. You know, when they had that season where we had the COVID and they had all those injuries, they still managed to muster up a run and got themselves in the top four. So, you know, if they do that again, we're in trouble. So we've got to keep winning our games. But I think these are the sort of games where Newcastle have lost, Liverpool got a tricky one to Man United. If Tottenham win, we can put our feet up on the beach. This is what we do, like I said in my last video. So yeah, you know, looking forward to the game, see how it goes. I'll be back on at half-time to discuss my points there, and I'll also do the same at full-time. So I'm hoping for a win. Don't feel too confident, but football is football. So see you guys at half-time. Right, ladies and gents, it's half time. Wolves 0, Tottenham 0. On that first half performance, I'm kind of glad that I didn't go up the road to watch this game. That was pretty dull, but you know, I'm going to speak positively for a change. You know, Wolves didn't really do anything to worry us. Unfortunately for them, Diego Costa come off, but again, might be a blessing because he hasn't really been scoring goals for them. Pedro Neto hasn't really had a chance to go at the fullbacks because we've had pretty much most of the possession. I suppose it's a better start than normal, you know, because for once we played the first half and I felt that we were the team on top. We had a few chances. Pedro Porro, you know, that's a positive, because I'm thinking, well, if you can take free kicks like that, then hallelujah. We've finally got someone that can take a set piece. That was a great effort, you know. An inch lower, that probably goes crossbar and in. Harry Kane's been well marshalled by Lamina. Son had a shot that worried me, you know, even though it was offside, he like ballooned it over, well over the goal. What concerned me in that little bit as well was that Kulusevski was open. He didn't pass it, but then even though he didn't pass it and ballooned it over, I didn't see Kulusevski screaming at him. That's the sign to me of players that haven't got a winning mentality. Like, I'm nowhere near as good as those players, but I would be going absolutely nuts at Son for trying to shoot there when literally lay it off to me on my left foot and I'm bending it top bins. So maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but I don't know, man. You know, when I play football, I like to win games. So anything like that, you know, I'll go mad at you during the game, and at the end I'll go, look, mate, sorry, maybe that was a bit too over the top. But at the time, it's like, mate, why have you not passed that? And if you're not passing it, what was that effort? Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those. It's like it's positive criticism on the pitch, if you ask me. But yeah, you know, if we continue in the same vein, you know, the defence looks relatively comfortable. Pedro Porro defensively hasn't really had to do much. Going forward hasn't looked the worst. It was just a steady performance. You know what I mean? It'd be nice if we played like that and had a 1-0 lead, but we weren't exactly playing that well that we, you know, outright think that Tottenham should be winning this game. It was just a steady performance against a difficult side. So I think this half we need to do what we traditionally do in second halves and up the ante a bit. I think no one really needs to come off, if I'm honest. It'll probably be one of those games where it'd be a late substitution unless we go 1-0 down. But I think we just need to come out the blocks firing a little and just take it to Wolves. You know, for me, they're there for the taking. I thought they'd perform a little better than they have, but we all know that if you're a team that isn't in the ascendancy and you're not playing too well, but then the other team that are, that are playing better than you just can't seem to find a goal, you gain confidence. So I'm looking at this thinking, if we score early, Wolves get desperate to get back into the game, and then we can do what we're traditionally good at, which is counter-attacking. I don't think we should ever be counter-attacking unless we're winning. So let's see how the second half goes, guys. Come on, you Spurs. Yes, ladies and gents. It's full time at the Molineaux. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Feels like I'm doing the Sheffield United rerun again. First of all, I want to start with the opposition. Wolves, they, again, just like Sheffield United, they executed the plan. Spurs are being found out here because what they do is they dig in, sit tight, and they know full well that Tottenham have gone full strength. If we can deal with Tottenham at full strength, their substitutions aren't going to do anything. Wolves were solid enough. The first half, they weren't great, but they did what they needed to do. They kept us quiet. Second half, they just grew into the game and did exactly what was supposed to do. 15 minutes in, see how it goes. They brought on Adama Traore when everybody was tired. He seemed to make a difference. João Moutinho came on, got the boys ticking for them, and it worked. In typical Tottenham fashion. Something will always go wrong. There's always a headline, and like I said in my preview to this game when I saw the lineups, I looked at the bench and saw Adama Traore, but I thought, his pace is going to be a problem if he comes on, but there's no end product. And what does he do? He scores a worldie. So for me, hats off to Adama Traore because he, on his day he's an absolute menace, but he's been off form for a long time. He didn't do too well at Barcelona. But Wolves did what they had to do. They were in a relegation scrap. I think this victory gives them a little bit of impetus throughout the season. They'll be looking to get a couple more victories, and if they can finish sort of mid-table, push for a top 10 finish, then even though it started badly, it helps them for leverage for their next season. So as I say, I'm always a good loser. I'm always fair. Congratulations to Wolves. I'm glad I didn't go to the game because I'd have been sat with all of them. I don't even want to step out of my house at the minute because I know I'll see orange and black everywhere. But it's one of those, just don't put your shirt on. If we're going to move to Tottenham, we're probably the most predictable side in the Premier League. The reason why is that, if you play Tottenham, like I just alluded to, and you deal with their full strength without any problems, you will beat them. Because, if Son isn't pulling up trees, if Kane can't get into the game, Kulusevski's frustrated. As the game gets on, they don't get better, they get worse. Harry Kane's our worldie, but he does it quite a lot. If he gets to the point where he's in the game and he's pulling strings and he's getting on the ball, he's very good. If he's not getting on the ball and he's being outmarked, we might as well go home now. Son, again, all running, no bite. I don't know what's going on with this guy. I refuse to even comment on him because it's just, what do you want me to say? I've been saying it from the beginning of the season. Something's gone wrong mentally. Again, I'm not going to blame him fully. I think it's a lot to do with the method of football that we play and the method of coaching. I think the extended training sessions that we had in the summer was a massive reason as to why, because he just came straight into the season tired, and I think that's just continued. And if you start the season tired and you don't hit peak form in terms of goal scoring, then you just lose your form completely. I'm not to say he's tired. I just think because he's been so bad on form, not doing it. Again, Kulusevski's somebody that if he doesn't do anything in the game, he just goes around getting booked. And Wolves done a job on Harry Kane. You know, he had a couple of opportunities, but in the round, they would have said, you know, he's a world-class player. He's going to have those couple of opportunities, but as long as we limit him to those and they don't go in, we beat Tottenham. Højbjerg and Skip did what they were supposed to do, but Wolves clocked that we can outrun them in midfield. And then the back, you know, our defence didn't really have any problems. But again, like, we failed to clear our lines and we allow Adama Traore to bully us into wasting time at the end. He takes his chance with the worldie, as I said before. I don't even know to blame anymore because the players were lacklustre, but again, it goes down to the coach. I'm not going to blame Stellini and Conte singly. Together, you got this wrong. My analysis is that when we had the London derbies, I felt that Stellini was told he could do what he wants because Conte was told that he has to stay away because he's recovering. He needs to recoup. So they would have just said, you know what, you take it on board. But then we've heard whispers of him coming back for this game and the previous game that we played in Sheffield United, but he just wasn't quite ready, as in Conte. So I believe that because he's come out of his recovery and he's still resting, but he's able to now communicate with the team, that's where it's going wrong because I'm seeing substitutions made far too late, lineups made that are created that just don't make sense. You know, Dyer played to 2 London derby games. I'm not saying he's a world-class player, but he didn't have any. I didn't have any problems with him. Sheffield United wasn't really his fault. And then all of a sudden he gets dropped and puts Ben Davies into left centre half. Perisic comes back in and so does, and Pedro Porro just starts. Why is Emerson dropped? Ben Davies has been brilliant at left wing back. Eric Dyer, Longley and Romero have been fine as a 3. And the continuity was based in the London derbies. But then it feels like Conte's been gone, you know, he's gone away. He's gone, right, I need to do what I need to do now. So I generally believe, and I might be wrong, that Stellini's probably watching the game thinking this needs to make changes. And if he was in charge, he would have made them. But Conte's on the phone going, make a substitution now. Like, the substitutions didn't make sense again, but it's like it felt like Conte was there because these are the things that Conte was doing when he was fit and firing. Because, you know, why is our second substitution a right back for a right back? And it's a more defensive right back because Porro is more attacking, isn't he? So why is he coming off for Emerson Royal? Why is Emerson Royal not starting? Do you get what I'm saying? Richarlison, again, I believe that Stellini picked him because he thought, yeah, Son needs dropping. Soon as Conte's back in the frame in his ear, Son's starting. Son wasn't starting. Son didn't start any games until Conte recovered. Make it make sense, man. I'm telling you now, he's recovered from his thing. He hasn't come back into the dugout yet, but he's like, I'll be back for AC Milan, but I'll be on the phone to you throughout the games. And this is where it's going wrong. I'm telling you now, that's my theory. If you want to go against that, you know, feel free to comment and we'll have a chat in the comment section below. But like I say, there's to Tottenham fans, what is the point of getting upset? Because you'd have got, if you were stressed and depressed from Sheffield United, how are you going to feel now? How are you going to feel on Wednesday when we go out of the Champions League? This is what we do. You know, Conte should have been sacked ages ago. You know, if we were a serious football club, the owners would have said to Conte, right, you've got 6 months left on your deal. Are you signing? No. You know, we shouldn't be giving Conte time to think about it. You've got 6 months. With January transfer windows coming up. Are you signing? No. All right, then. We're going to get rid of you and we're going to bring in a coach that we know is going to be here so then we can make some signings for January. But because we're not a serious club, because Levy doesn't care, these are going to happen. Conte can't care because he doesn't see his long-term future here. Daniel Levy doesn't care because we were playing Wolves today and he was in Bahrain, you know, sitting there in the dugout watching the F1. And Tottenham fans are there thinking, oh, he's going out there to go and meet potential buyers. Are you dumb? He's just signed a new F1 deal. They would have been like, here you go, VIP, mate. He ain't going there to sell the club. Are you dumb? He's not selling the club for a while. You know, you got to make it make sense in your head and look at what's going on. You know, what's his name? Daniel Levy and all them lot. They know that if they leave it to rot. They pray that Conte gets us top four. Conte says, I'm off to Juventus. And then they get Pochettino for free. They want everything done for free. So, getting rid of Conte now with 4 months doesn't make business sense. And if I'm a businessman, I look at him and think, well, it doesn't make sense. We're going to go and give him a few millies when we can get rid of him for free in the end. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to bring him in for free. We're going to bring Poch in for free. Harry Kane's going to leave. And Pochettino's going to be told, you've got a load of wicked youngsters here. And Richarlison's up front. Everything's happening behind closed doors, just like what's happening with my son behind me. I don't know what he's doing behind me. But he's probably trying to listen in and get in on a video. But to sign off, I don't know what Tottenham do from here. Well, I know what they do. We just keep flopping. Normally I'm not lost for words, but it's just my advice. I keep saying to Tottenham fans is don't get stressed. Don't be hopeful because this is a club that the saying "the hope will kill you" is that phrase personified. So just keep calm, keep calm, and have the same balance as me. If we win, brilliant. We're not going to win a trophy from the win, and if we lose, we're not going to win a trophy from the loss. So just keep it calm. If we win, brilliant. Thumbs up. Yep, we're in the top four, and that's our trophy for the season now. Because even if we beat AC Milan, in a weird way, I'd rather get knocked out by AC Milan because if we go and play Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, you're talking sevens. So that's me signing out. Remember to comment, like, share and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. What I've got coming up, I'll probably do another video based on, any more shenanigans that's happening around Tottenham. So look out for that at the beginning of next week. And we look forward to AC Milan. So, yep, that's me signing out. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my day with my children. Jacob signing off on the one up top.